beginning of everything. Welcome back, my friends. It's showtime.
Hello and welcome to the Brink of Sanity. I don't know what episode this is, but welcome to it.
Hi.
And my phone goes off the second we start recording. But you know what? I am not going to answer it. So, yes, we got Bri here today. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. If you hear a lot of bells, we are not doing a game show episode. It is actually my neighbor trying to get into the building.
Oh.
Yeah. Apparently, we forget keys 10 times a day and like to buzz everyone in the building.
It's going to be a nice night. She could stay out for a while.
Yeah, it's very nice out, actually. The funny thing is my peephole looks straight out to the front door. So I've been watching her on and off for the last 40 minutes trying to get into the building. You may say that's mean, but this goes on like 10 times a day, literally. And, you know, it's not a doorman building. That's why it's cheap rent, idiot. Not your goddamn doorman.
That's why you need keys.
I want to tape like $2 to her mailbox and write, for getting a copy of a key made. You could keep the change because it's really only like $1.19. Oh, there we go. I don't know if you heard that. She just buzzed it 4 more times. Maybe she sees like the shadow of me going over the people every 5 minutes.
Is she cute?
Oh. No, she's not cute. She has like this big ass baby stroller, and she's got the worst voice I think I've ever heard. Just one of those ear piercing, straight through your head. I don't know what she talks to her baby or whatever, and you could hear it clearly from my apartment because it's just like one of those through the wall type of voices.
Ugh.
Yeah, awful. Just a mess. So
You should get her on the intercom. Talk to her.
I don't have an intercom. I have a bell that literally sounds like a game show bell.
Yeah.
And that's it. I could buzz or I can ignore. Those are my 2 options.
Oh, all right then.
It's not all high tech like my last place where I had like video cameras and stuff.
Oh yeah, that was like night vision and shit.
Yeah, I had some pretty high tech setup in the last place, but you know, when you want to pay $800 less a month, that's what happens.
Yeah, give up a little security.
Yeah, a little bit, but I don't know. If you're in the right mood, it could be very humorous, actually.
Yeah, especially if you could see her, because you could like hit the button real quick.
Well, that's what I'm waiting to do. It was too light out, so I figured she could probably see me through the peephole. But next time she does it when it's dark out, I'm going to wait for her to buzz somebody else's apartment and then start tapping the bell. So then she thinks it's them, and then they get into a big fight. So I'm going to start a building battle as soon as I can.
There you
go. I think I'm actually looking forward to it. It was just a little bit too light out right before the show.
Mm.
But these scumbags, I don't know. Anyway, thanks for joining us today. We have
You're welcome.
We have a ton of stuff going on today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what?
Well, we just went through all my show notes, but you know, there'll be something that'll happen, I'm sure.
I'm sure something will pop up. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we have an iPhone app.
Oh. That mean I have to get an iPhone?
Well, it also works on the iPad or the iPod Touch.
I don't have any of those.
Oh. Well, you could do what I did, and you could download it through iTunes, and then it doesn't do anything, but it gives me $1. So you could just buy it through iTunes.
Oh, you have to buy it?
Yeah. It's, to support the show, and then you get a cool little app. And, I could add bonus shows and wallpapers and stuff to it.
I'm against all apps. You know me, I'm against technology.
Yeah. Well, I have an app, but I don't know what to do with it because I don't have any devices that play apps. So, I guess I'm one step ahead of you, but not really, not much.
No, I had successfully gotten off Facebook for about 2.5 weeks. I was very proud of myself, yeah.
Were you in withdrawal?
No, actually I wasn't.
You didn't go back to Friendster instead?
What's that?
You didn't go back to Friendster instead?
No, I don't think I've ever been on Friendster.
Yeah, it's an evil place.
No, I had a mental breakdown a few weeks ago, and the first thing to go was my Facebook account.
See, I can't... Oh, you deleted the whole account?
Well, I deactivated it, and then I ended up caving back in last weekend because it was rainy and I was bored out of my mind. And I went back on for a minute, and I was like, fuck.
See, I can't tell the difference between your mental breakdowns and your normal posts. So that's why I didn't say anything.
No, this was a complete mental breakdown. Right, it was actually the day after my birthday. I just had like a complete breakdown and like just lost my mind. And I was like, that's it, Facebook gone.
I saw something really dark, but I wasn't sure if that was just like normal Bri on depressed posts.
What was it? I post that shit all the time.
Yeah, you know what? I don't even remember because you do post that shit all the time.
The funniest part is that it was gone for 2 weeks, and I got one email from a person I know saying, "Hey, what happened to your Facebook page?"
Well, we don't talk unless it's showtime, so I probably would have noticed if it came next week and we hadn't talked. But until then, I don't talk to anybody outside of the show anymore because I'm like,
actually, I had one person ask me if my page got suspended because I posted a really not poorly timed. I thought it was hilarious, but really like kind of poorly timed joke about something that happened up here in Connecticut.
Oh, I see. Well, now was there actually somebody else posted a really sad, I guess, update the other day, and he put like, I'm an idiot because I lost the greatest thing I've ever had, and I thought it was funny at the time, but I'm thinking this guy probably hates me now. I wrote, "What happened? Did your character in Mafia Wars die?" But in retrospect, he probably doesn't like me anymore.
Who ended up? What happened?
I don't know.
Or what did he lose?
I have no idea. I never got a straight answer. So maybe he killed himself. Was there something that set you off? Was it an event or it was just time?
No, it's just I've been going through a rough patch with some family stuff that I've been having to deal with. And,
join the club.
Yeah, no, my mom's really sick, and it's really frustrating and stuff. That's all right, And it just sort of all came to a head.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was actually on my birthday a couple weeks ago, and she's really sick, so she doesn't get out much. She kind of just loafs around on the couch and everything. And it's my poor dad has to take care of her all the time. And then on my birthday, I got a call that my grandmother was in the hospital for something. We didn't quite get the story because it was like fourth hand.
Mm-hmm.
So me and my dad rushed up for like 40 minutes away, and basically she had an infection in her hand, and her finger looked like a big fucking carrot. And so they ended up keeping her in the hospital for like 3 days, and it just like totally just pissed me off and upset me about a lot of stuff. And I was just like, the next day I woke up and I was like, because I said, and I had taken what happened was I had taken time off of work. It was my vacation just to relax and kind of, do whatever I want. And I ended up spending 2 days having to babysit my mom while my dad was out doing stuff. And one day up with my grandmother, and I was just like, fuck this. This is just, I'm sick of everything. And I locked myself in my room for 2 days. I didn't even get out. I didn't even go downstairs to my kitchen for 2 days.
I think I'm going to do that soon, too.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good. My girlfriend's going to Thailand for like 6 weeks, and I'm thinking of just disappearing for 1 or 2 of those weeks.
Yeah, I recommend it.
Yeah, it sounds good. Did you do anything, or did you just mope?
No, I just moped. I just laid in bed and I watched TV, and I slept.
That sounds good to me.
I didn't even get dressed. I was just naked, just laying there. It's like, whatever. I didn't even shower. I didn't do anything.
That's awesome.
I was just laying in bed naked. Like, what the fuck?
That's pretty much a typical Bri story.
Yeah. So I come back to work Monday, and everyone's like, "Hey, how was your vacation?" I was like, "It fucking sucked, thank you." Did everybody miss me?
The usual. Had a mental breakdown. Didn't shower or get out of bed.
Yeah.
That's what I do every weekend.
It is what I do every weekend. So they're like, "Oh, so you just had that for 5 days instead of 2." I was like, "Oh yeah, thanks."
I'm going to Boston this weekend, so.
You what?
I'm going to Boston this weekend.
Beantown.
Thus the Thursday show. Some people are actually starting to get into the groove of joining us on Fridays, and then I totally fucked up by not having a Friday show for like a month straight.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's summer and there's shit going on. I'll get back to the Friday schedule probably like mid-September.
Yeah.
But, I'm a busy guy.
Once fall and winter comes, there's nothing to do anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Are you there?
I'm on headphones.
You're on something.
I don't know what's going on. I don't think we have the echo going anymore.
I'm on headphones.
Yep, I think we're good now.
All right.
It's Joel, everybody.
Hi, Joel. Okay.
I quit.
That's it. I'm walking out.
Remember that mental breakdown I said I was having in October?
Yeah.
Yeah, right now.
You're gonna be walking around Boston naked.
Yep. Hello.
Hello.
All right, I think that's working.
All right.
Although you do sound like you're doing the show from inside a refrigerator.
Could you stop the carpentry work while you're doing the show? Are we on like Candid Podcast here or something?
I think he's having like major lag.
I don't understand how these new phones have Skype. A phone's a phone. What do you need Skype for?
I have phone on my phone.
Yeah, I mean, like, why do I have to have a phone then if I could just call somebody on the computer?
That's like installing an instant messenger program on your AOL instant messenger.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to count the lag here. I am in Skype.
And you're listening to us through Skype?
Yeah.
You answered that right away.
Oh, well, now everything seems okay.
Okay.
Maybe he just knew what you were going to say.
Yeah.
I don't give him that much credit.
See if you could accurately guess what we're saying for the rest of the show.
Reading lips.
Anyway, Joel's with us.
Hey, everybody. Sorry about that headache and a few squealing feedbacks.
No problem. That's the magic of editing. You're just I'm going to bill you for my time because I don't I don't like doing post-production. It's overrated.
Woo, Brink of Sanity.
Yeah,
What the hell's going on? I haven't been here in a while.
It's been a while. We were just having a really depressing podcast.
Well, happy to throw a curveball to that.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, suddenly I feel cheerful again.
Go. What's going on, Brian?
How you doing?
Oh, having a little coffee, doing what I do. You, fellas?
Well,
Couple
we were just
cocktails in?
Well, we were just talking about having mental breakdowns and having vacations where you don't leave your bedroom.
Brian Wilson special?
Yeah. But, you know, you actually do quite the opposite and travel the world, so a little jealous on that front.
Well, you should have seen a good number of moments on this last trip where me just going crazy. As they say, you can never go back home, and I went back at a time when damn near everyone I was trying to track down was out of town. It was like a tumbleweed city. A little depressing, really. All these photos of, like, parks and crap and no people around, like, remembering the old town.
A swing set swinging back and forth with no kid on it.
Right. And, like, everyone who I saw seemed to be people who were hired to maintain the town, like people mowing public pieces of grass or, you know...
Are you from the town in Terminator 2?
Basically, or it's not really far off from Flint, Michigan in terms of being like a boom town kind of after the gold rush. And I think it actually has unemployment that rivals that of Flint, Michigan currently, which is pretty sad, but kind of up on the Rust Belt, as they say. And so I took full advantage, driving around like a sniper with my windows down, trying not to get my ass kicked, and snapping photos of all these like aging barns, rusting cars with weeds coming up through them. A lot of pretty stuff, but also just kind of like a lot of, I don't know, country road, some kind of, I don't know, graveyard to the past. Meanwhile, the southern half of the state is much more chipper of late.
What state? Minnesota?
Right. I'm originally from a little area called the Iron Range up north, and everyone I grew up with, or most people, eventually like moved down to suburbs around Minneapolis, St. Paul. So kind of opposite ends of the spectrum, real pretty urban area and kind of, you know, bleak but pretty in a bucolic kind of way, country land up north with these gashes in the ground that look like the Grand Canyon, but
that's the word of the
first
day.
generation miners made it handmade.
And thank you for our word of the day.
So wait, you grew up in that town?
I did.
And you're just now getting around to taking pictures of it?
Well, just now possessing the photography equipment that makes me want to go back and do kind of a nostalgic apeshit album.
Gotcha.
Sure thing.
That's cool. Where else did your travels bring you?
First stop, Chicago. I went and saw a college buddy seemingly try to one-up another college buddy. Both of these guys have just had weddings to the nines, so we're up on the rooftop of the Wick Hotel for a good amount of a day with like an open bar. I don't drink or anything, but it was pretty impressive, just the resources that they dumped into it, and a big church wedding. and then a reception, and then back up to a smaller section of the rooftop bar until 3 a.m., like all these little sliders getting delivered by drop-dead model-looking waitresses, duck tacos, open bar, so on and so forth. So
Yeah, that's who you want at your wedding, smoking hot waitresses.
they pulled out all the stops, let me tell you. It's pretty impressive. So from there to Minneapolis, St. Paul, and a little drive up north to see Mom's new place, and eventually another wedding in California. So 3 state stops.
All places I've never been because I don't go anywhere.
No doubt. I can, even from here on your little thing, see like that clusterfuck of wires by your foot starting to grow under your toenail.
My computer's starting to grow into me.
Exactly. Darth Vader. All right, so what have the topics been in the last couple of weeks? You've been pranking some assholes trying to steal your money in various ways, shapes, and forms, and what else you got going on?
Yeah, actually, just put up the Nigerian episode right before we got on today.
Right on.
I'm going on like 1 week lag, so I can have potential to actually go somewhere and not miss an episode. So
Wow.
This one might be on next week.
Shoot, I was just he just said Darth Vader, and before I was thinking I had this rant about Star Wars. Now I forgot what it was.
Well, you got time. The show is young.
Fuck.
Next week we're having a professional wrestler on the show.
Oh.
And there's an author coming up who wrote a book on Lost, and another stand-up comedian. So September should be a good month.
Wow, look at you. You're getting big time now.
Yeah, way to dip your fingers into the media pool there. Getting an author writing about Lost, you should have some material to chat about. I think you invested a good amount of your life, as did I, to that show.
Unfortunately.
My God. And shamefully enough, I knocked it all out in something like a couple of weeks. It was damn near record time during the rainy days of April, and stared at the TV like someone on what is that, Clockwork Orange, with the little wires holding the eyeballs open. Get me through this, fucker!
Yeah, Joel quit his job and decided to just like watch 1 season of a show per day.
I ended up watching just the last episode because I watched the 5-hour thing leading up to it, and I was like, oh, I think I know what's going on. 5 minutes in, I was passed out on the floor, what the fuck is going on?
Well, I watched all 6 seasons, and I was in the same boat as you. It just made not much sense. Pretty much a waste of time.
You sit there bemoaning the fact that it doesn't really have a hell of a lot of story, that it's not really necessarily going anywhere, that they're not necessarily being fair and giving you enough information where you can reasonably kind of have an appraisal of the situation. But thanks to 3 or 4 semi-interesting characters, you sit there like you're on crack, just waiting for it to get done.
They also have about 15 minutes of real show, and then 40 minutes of just flashback to stuff that really has no impact on anything.
Right. But it gave a great chance to play some 3 Dog Night songs.
Yeah, that is true. Although I have those on my iPod, so I didn't really need 7 episodes of that.
Understood.
Got a few news stories today.
All right.
I don't know if you guys heard about the traffic jam in China. It's
something like a few miles long and going to take ages for it to untangle. I think that was the bullet point I heard on it.
60 miles, and it's on day 10 of the traffic jam.
So it's Los Angeles.
Maybe a little worse.
Yeah.
60 miles.
In 10 days.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know about you, but
I'm going to buy stock in bottled water.
Seriously. They said there's people, going up and down the highway charging ridiculous $10 for
Are people
water.
still sitting in their cars?
Yeah, they're sleeping. There's a bunch of pictures, and one guy's sleeping under his truck, another guy is giving himself a bath, and they're playing card games on the side of the road and shit.
Heating up water on the top of the engine block and cooking strips of simulated leather in an effort to make a weak broth.
If there's ever a time that you want to be a streetwalking hooker, this is the time. Seriously. There's for me there's nothing. I mean, this wouldn't even exist. It would be an 8-hour traffic jam, and then I would get out of my car and walk home, and then there would be no more traffic jam for me.
No, mine would be like probably an hour and a half, and I would have an aneurysm, and I'd be dead in my car.
Yeah, if I had $100 car, that'd be a great move. Just walk away and ultimately take like $100 penalty if they have to tow it or something.
Well, that's what I was thinking. You just go home and you leave a note on the windshield. Call me when it's towed.
Yeah. Call me when we're moving. It's like that episode of Married with Children when they're on a...
Oh, they go on vacation, but they never make it around the corner?
Yeah.
How did I remember that right away? That's pretty sick. But, yeah, it's I don't get why people are waiting 10 days on the side of the road. And you know what? They're probably going to get to the front, and it's just going to be a guy getting a speeding ticket. But
Probably a turtle crossing the road.
But since there's 4 billion people in China, they're all rubberneckers causing the traffic jam.
They probably saw a girl.
Yeah.
I didn't know we had those in here.
They said it could go on for another 2 weeks.
Oh.
Yeah. If you're on the side of the road for 3 weeks, you're a sucker. That's all I have to say.
Hope nobody was delivering Chinese food.
They said there are two there are 2 porta potties on the 60-mile span on the side of the road. So I guess there's a lot of poop piles on the side of the road. I don't know.
Yeah.
Talk about stage fright. I don't know if I'd be able to do that. I'd have
Everyone's
to walk
honking.
far. Yeah, exactly.
Not to wipe with either.
That's true. You don't really usually bring
Some
TP.
seat insulation.
So there's trucks carrying fruit and vegetables that are unrefrigerated.
Oh, that's good. They need more fiber.
So that must be fun, being right behind the stinking, rotting fruit truck.
Bananas. Yeah.
Birds are circling overhead. That sounds absolutely horrible. And what happened? I mean, like, did someone drop something and hit the brakes too quickly? I mean, how does the city's infrastructure totally buckle out overnight? Like,
It said it's just construction on the side of the road. So
Probably some asshole on his phone.
Well, you know, whenever there's construction, they close like 1 out of the 3 lanes, but then, you know, people can't figure out how to merge, and then you get the people who have to jam on their brakes to see what's going on the side of the road.
And you get the people that are going to stay in the right lane until they, like, hit a cone.
Yeah, exactly, and then demand to cut in right away and bring everything to a screeching halt.
Bunch of assholes like me with digital cameras running around.
I'm so glad I don't drive. I mean, stories like this, man. Just
This was a little throwback trip for me in the sense that when I was back in Minnesota, I rented a car for a week and drove in a place where it's actually really relaxing to drive. I mean, it's like a walk in the woods to drive in northern Minnesota where there's maybe a car every 10 miles, and chances are they're going to slow down, wave, pull you over, and buy you lunch or something like that.
See, that could be a lot of fun.
Northern California, where you have this really well-designed infrastructure, but so many people that while it's really smooth and feels like a nice roller coaster flowing through the turns late at night, during the daytime, you're just kind of at a snail's pace and trying to merge left, and everything's fucked up. Everyone's going to IKEA, and it backs up the entire Northern California.
Good times. I've literally been stuck in traffic for about 2.5 hours because somebody really was getting a speeding ticket and everyone had to look over on the side of the road.
Oof. I was leaving a wedding and they had a sober checkpoint. And boy, of all the times I've been grateful for not drinking.
Yeah, seriously.
And I swear, no less than 8 cars get pulled over just on like the 45-minute ride back to where I was heading. Bunch of people just liquored up on mid-shelf wine.
That's pretty shitty doing that on the way out of a wedding.
It is rough. I mean, they probably read the newspaper announcements and set themselves up like 2 miles to the south.
Mm-hmm.
You know, right as the dude's like lighting a cigarette to try to stay awake.
It's always the last 3 days of the month too, because even though they say they have no quotas, they really do.
Mm-hmm.
They're out. I grew up in Long Island, and they're out in full force the last 3 or 4 days of the month. Trying to be sneaky.
Yep.
They don't
So
have to be.
Kind of haven't been plugged in other than getting like the Facebook status updates on the iPhone. What the hell's going on in the world the last 2.5 weeks? I've been in a bubble. rented bubble car.
Well, there was a really, really informative news story that just came out that said Kourtney Kardashian's baby son has started crawling. So I'm glad that made the front page of a website.
No.
Yeah. So
You looked at it. Did you click any of the advertisements? If so, you lose. Fucker.
no, I didn't actually.
Does the baby have his own reality show yet?
He's signed up to start this fall. He's got to give a blowjob first.
Is he banging any black chicks with big asses, or?
It's the Kardashian way. Oh yeah, another entertainment news story. Heidi Montag regrets her breast implants, so she's thinking about getting them taken out.
Just their breast implants, or like the 900 surgeries that she had?
Yeah, apparently she doesn't regret her fake lips, chin, cheeks, forehead, and eyebrows. Just the breasts.
Basically, it's wearing a mask.
That's where she went wrong. It was just the breasts. Everything else is fine. She looks like one of those wax statues.
Yeah.
Although the wax statue probably
Adam
the one.
Tussauds.
Yeah, exactly. What a creep.
Well, I'm on her official site now. Let me weigh in on the matter.
She I don't know. She's starting to look really creepy, and she's only early 20s.
She's like 22, isn't she?
She's like the white Michael Jackson at this point. Too soon?
No, not too soon at all.
No.
I don't know what too soon is.
Right in the strike zone, actually.
All right, that's good. Did you guys watch that?
She looks a little blimpy, or I don't know. Like if you put like a thin wire through her lips, tits, and select other parts, and then just kind of sat there with like a bicycle pump.
Yeah.
A lot of it comes down to like the shine on the lipstick, where it just looks like that little, when you're looking at a cartoon and they show a picture of a balloon and just to show a light reflection, it's almost like a little tic-tac-toe sign.
Mm-hmm. Yep. They, I don't know. I totally lost my train of thought right there.
My fucked up metaphor or likeness to animation?
No, I just haven't
It's
slept.
just a mind clear, control alt delete kind of shit.
I haven't really had a good night's sleep in about 3 weeks, so I don't know. I'm out of my mind right now.
How's the sleep apnea coming along?
Post brain fart number 1.
Loud and clear. Still out of breathy, no sleepy.
No more spacesuit, or still giving it?
No,
giving that a trick?
I quit that stupid machine.
Can I have it?
Sure.
There's another Darth Vader connection.
Yeah, I started like snoring with it on, so I was like, you know what? Fuck this.
Fuck, what was I going to rant about Star Wars?
Were you going to rant about the old ones or the new ones?
Yeah, the old ones. The first 3.
Too soon?
Fuck, I don't remember what it was. I was just thinking about it.
My sister's boyfriend got a job at ILM. I think next time I'm out in the Bay Area, I'm going to go get a tour if I can.
What's ILM?
Industrial Light and Magic.
What's
It's like
that?
his little special effects shop, right?
Like, what's that?
Yeah, film.
Avatar is coming
It's a
out.
short film.
Avatar is coming out on DVD next week again.
Yeah, somebody explain this to me now. Okay. Now, they're building bigger and bigger TVs, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And now they're making 3D TVs.
Correct.
Yeah.
And they're making HD TVs,
Right.
right? And we got Blu-ray players, and we got surround sound systems, and we got all this fucking technology. You put your TV in the wall, there's no wires, all that stuff, right?
Yep.
Correct.
Right? Why the fuck would I want to watch a movie on my cell phone?
I always wondered the same exact
I
thing.
keep seeing this commercial. You can watch Avatar. Why the fuck would I want to watch Avatar, which apparently needs to be seen in a movie theater on 3D
In
on
IMAX.
a fucking 2x2 screen?
If that.
Some people just need to avoid eye contact at every cost.
I mean, are you that do you completely lack the ability to relate with people anymore? That you have to just sit there and watch a movie?
And this is coming from Bry, folks. That's pretty bad.
When would you ever when would I ever just be sitting there this is boring, I'm just going to put Avatar on? I can't imagine any situation where I'd be
waiting
doing that.
in an airport.
I would never want to watch anything on a 1-inch screen.
Yeah.
That's way too small for me to enjoy anything. Unless it's like a YouTube clip of like a 16-year-old get a hand on the balls or something.
I was at a bar. I was out a couple Sundays ago. I went to this bar that has awesome wings. I went for lunch, and these 3 chicks came in and they sat at the table next to me. They were like probably 22, and I was like, oh, all right, they're kind of cute. This big fat Chinese guy, and you don't see a lot of big fat Chinese guys.
No, you don't.
Comes in with this guy with like a wife beater and flip flops and like tattoos on his leg and all over his arm and shit. And
a douchebag.
Like, yeah, and he's sitting there walking with his phone, and he's texting, looking at his phone. You know, they go over. They're talking to the guy. Never looked up from his phone. He went over. He's talking to these girls. He sits down. And then, like, 2 more douchebags came, and the guy never... I was watching him because he was right next to me. The guy never looked up from his phone. I was like, why would you go out with people just to talk to somebody that's not there?
Was this a bar?
Yeah. It was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Sunday, but...
Should I even get into why you were at a bar at 2 in the afternoon on a Sunday?
I was just getting wings.
Yeah. Gotcha.
But, like... I never understood that. Like, you see a group of, like, 10 people... and like 2 of them are texting. It's like, who else do you know that's not there?
I have a picture from one of my New Year's parties, and it's like a wide view where you could see about 6 or 7 people, and every single person is texting. I don't know what that says about my party, but everyone in the room had their face in phones.
It's a little look in the mirror, I think, about your party.
Yeah, I was like, wow, everyone's really, really bored.
Everyone's projecting themselves to like the opposite end of the phone.
But
and, like,
you know,
I can't imagine what. Like, see, the new generation of like kids from like 23 to 0, are all in this frame of mind now where every thought they have, they think needs to be somehow expressed.
Yeah, you know what? We hate your thoughts.
And like, there's these. I work with people. They text all day. Like, this one girl texts her boyfriend all day. This other girl texts her husband all day. Like, you live with your boyfriend or your husband or whatever. You see him all night. What could you possibly have to say to him all day about what's going on?
I think the ability to be alone is just kind of disappearing for a lot of people.
I don't get it. Like, everybody I work with is like, now, like, our boss yelled, like, no more texting. Brian, you hear that? No texting. I'm like, who the fuck do I text? I have like 4 numbers in my phone. You know, but
your
like,
mom, your dad.
texting, like, what do you possibly have to say? Like, oh my God, I just looked to the left. Oh, I just looked to the right.
You would not believe what Jenna said. Oh my God.
Yeah, can't you wait till dinner time? By the time you get home from work, you can't possibly have anything left to say.
Yeah, then she gets home and sits in silence.
Yeah, awkward silence.
We
never talk anymore.
Probably one of those couples where they each have a laptop and they're both on Facebook sitting on the couch next to each other.
Texting each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't get it.
This is one girl at my job. I've never seen her not either walking with the phone to her ear or walking with her head down, texting while she's walking. And this is at work. I can't imagine out of work. I don't know. I don't get it. I understand that a little more than the watching movies on a 2-inch screen. That I just don't comprehend at all.
Maybe they should just have like a free-for-all day where, based on the frequency with which you contact these people, they'll kind of reappropriate all the living spaces. And, like, you know, each of us will have our own personal Melrose place where everyone kind of in our expanded universe is going to be like right down the hall. Just drive each other fucking crazy.
Plus you also, like, if you're at work, you could email. Email's easier. You could write more.
Yeah,
right.
That's
but
true.
That goes usually through the company's server, and you know, any kind of...
we don't have company. I mean, we don't even. The people I work with aren't even shy about like getting on Facebook.
Right.
I mean, they monitor all our emails, but not very closely because I'm still employed. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you're just saying like what's for dinner, you don't really need like an immediate text response. You can just throw that out there and wait for the person to write you back. It's okay.
Surprise me.
I find texting a lot of effort, actually. I just find it harder to type than actually on a keyboard.
Could actually be good at ping pong, you know, if it was a world like that where I could just sit and watch it start to come over the net. casually get up when I feel like it and get myself in position and whack the fucker back. Otherwise, I'm helpless.
We just got a new, well, not just, we got it in January, but we have a copier, scanner, big fucker machine at work with a digital thing, and we have to type everything in when we scan everything because we're trying to go paperless. And I keep fucking up all the time, so that's how I know I'm not ready to get one of those phones.
I have a travel tip I'd like to contribute to the episode. I can wait, if we can keep this train going, but ready to throw this one out whenever.
Travel tips are, come on in, let's go.
You know what? Actually, we should take a break because I like to save it every half hour so I don't delete any full episodes anymore.
Makes sense.
So what do you say we take a quick 2-minute break? I got some promos I got to play anyway. And then we'll come back with Joel's travel tips.
Sounds like a plan.
All right.
I need a garage door opener for my balls.
What the fuck?
I don't like the smell that usually forms down there if I go for a couple days without washing.
I'm proud of you.
It smells like onions wrapped in asshole.
What the fuck are we talking about?
Hey, Dad, remember that one time I got that cock stuck in my ass?
He just went over legs and arms. In a truck not too hard to locate, featuring painted images of a peeled banana, the exposed part shaped like a condom, and a shirtless man saying, "I protect myself." Do you?
What kind of fucking question is this? I'm the host of the show, and I get put down on every episode.
I love you, Tim.
John is a man of God.
Shed his precious blood.
Shed his precious blood.
And died.
And died.
For my sin. And now the three guys that taught your mom that thing you like. It's Minor Detail.
MinorDetailPodcast.com.
Let's cut to the chase. I'm DJ, and I do a little something called the Green Light Show. Now, I want you to be a fan of the show, so I'm making you listen to this sample. And these girls, they think, oh, as long as I show off my tits, I'm fat. I'll wear this skin-tight shirt and show off all my tits.
Yeah, I see
That'll look real good.
I see that a lot, actually, and it's rather disgusting.
And I've heard these girls, they'll say stuff like, well, you're looking.
Yeah, because I want to throw up.
Yeah, just because I'm looking at your enormous exposed tits, that doesn't mean I like them.
Yeah, exactly.
Like driving by a car wreck, if I were to see a 6-year-old boy's head smashed and run over by an SUV, just because I can't look away, that doesn't mean I like the way it looks. I went to go see Toy Story 3.
My bad.
I don't mean to spoil the movie for anybody, but Andy dies.
Does he get AIDS?
Andy gets AIDS in Toy Story 3 from a gay orgy. He got drunk. He went up to
At college.
The plot of this is it shows Andy leaving his parents in the beginning, his mom's house.
Yeah, his single mom.
Where the fuck is Andy's dad?
His mom's a single mom.
So the opening
have a
scene
dad.
is just Andy going, "I'm out of here, Mom, fuck off!" And Andy drives off to his college.
Smoking weed.
Andy gets to college, and the first thing, he opens the door to his new apartment, and his roommates, who he's never met, are in there. They go, "Hey, Andy, rub this on your tongue." Andy starts fucking all these dudes. It's a big, giant orgy.
Wow.
It's like gays and lesbos and normals, and they're all just intertwined fucking.
That's weird.
And then Woody shows up, but it's not Woody. It's Andy's dick with a cowboy hat on it. And he goes, "Check out my Woody!" If you like what you hear, head on over to greenlightshow.com. You can find out everything about the show right from the homepage. greenlightshow.com. See you there.
All right, we're back.
Yay!
Wait, is Bri back too?
I don't know.
I don't think.
Nope.
No. All right. Well, that sucks. Thought we had a smooth transition there. Anyway, 631-676-1181 is the phone number. I believe I mentioned the iPhone app that we have now, but I have not mentioned that we need iTunes reviews. We got a lot coming in. We actually got a lot this month, like probably 15 reviews. But keep them coming in because we want to get featured on iTunes. If we do, then the show is huge and everyone benefits. So please keep those going. We got a Twitter page. That's when
Hello.
That's when you go, hey, how you doing?
All right.
Twitter.com/Brink of Sanity. That is where you can find out about our last-minute Broadcasting Now updates. You can join the live show. That's pretty much it. No, I post jokes there sometimes. And then an airplane goes past. It's really loud.
Cool.
Well, that, I guess, is a good segue for Joel's traveling tips.
Couldn't have planned that any better.
Yeah. Look at that. I added that sound effect on the spot.
All right. This week's travel tip. When leaving for periods in excess of, I don't know, I'm going to guess maybe 5 or 6 days,
Okay.
run through your apartment ahead of time and spring any mouse traps that you might have set anywhere. Because when you get back, any of a number of nasty things could happen, including the following.
Is this based on a true story?
This is based on a very recent true story.
Oh, no.
There's some little phantom dark hole back behind my cabinets and my oven where, I don't know, it's not really a completed wall. There's some kind of airspace going back, like toward the, I don't know, insulation of the building, something like that. And once in a blue moon, I've seen like a mouse turd lying around. And so I found one little spot just behind the stove where there's like a wire that runs at the back of the stove, and a mouse could conceivably climb it and then kind of springboard off of this little electronics box thing and jump onto the counter. And so in the fashion of the movie 300, I figured I could kind of have him funnel through this little straight and set a trap and knock out any mouse that comes in the path, because it's kind of the only corner of the house where there's any food or anything that they might want. And I've had luck with this in the past. There was one episode where I found a trap that had sprung, and entirely on the other side of the room I found a dead mouse. And this launched me into a series of thoughts, kind of like dead mouse CSI. Theory A being maybe the mouse got mortally wounded by the trap and managed to stumble off roughly 4 or 5 yards before experiencing like a cruel and painful death. A little bit of blood like on its lower jaw. Theory B, maybe the mouse's body was in such a position that as the trap sprang, it launched him catapult-like clear across the room, maybe hitting a ceiling or a wall, at which point finding him on the floor would just sort of be like the final point after this big arc through the sky. Anyway, these are the fun episodes in the past that have kind of prepped me for now this morbid fascination with mouse death.
My vote is for mouse SARS.
What was it?
I think you had mouse SARS.
Fascinating.
So was that the new experience, or?
No, the new experience was a little more gross. I'm imagining within an hour or two of my leaving on vacation, a mouse, all was quiet, came poking out in the exact spot that I previously referenced by the back of the stove, where it leads to the little strip of counter, and stepped right on the middle of the trap. The thing killed him. Doesn't look like the trap moved at all. Pretty clean kill. But somehow, somewhere in there, this exposed corpse met, I'm guessing, a fly that laid a few eggs. And, if you've seen the movie The Fly, and imagine something coming up, boiling through the flesh, kind of, skin stretching and popping and maggots and so forth. So this going down, like,
Nice
very,
clean
very
face
close to where I normally prepare my bowl of cereal, kind of my breakfast nook prep area. So I had to hit that with a lot of bleach and hot water.
So you had a mouse corpse with maggots and flies.
No flies, just maggots waiting to become flies.
Maggots become flies?
I do believe they are the larva, or larvae. I'm not sure what the correct plural of that is.
Really?
I do believe so.
I had no idea. I thought maggots were in the worm family.
And I believe it's just flies biding their time, which is why, it's always kind of like the first stage of something rotting out, because the flies can get to pretty much anything.
Oh, I thought the flies just like the smell.
Huh.
Learn something new every day. Well, I'm glad we had you on today.
I'm going to do a little fly and maggot Googling in the background while you two take the lead on the next part of the conversation.
Brian and I lived in an apartment with a lot of mice back in the day.
We used sticky traps.
We did. Sticky traps really, unbeknownst to us, really torture the mice.
And then we threw them out the window.
Well, here's the thing. We had so many mice, and the landlord lived below us. So I knocked on her door one day, and I said, hey, listen, we got mice all over the place. And she's like, oh, yeah, I know. They're running around on my counters. And I'm like, you have so many. They ran out of room, and they're coming up to visit us now. And she just, shrugged and shut the door. So we were pretty pissed. So we decided to, kind of like a dog, give her the corpses every time we got a mouse.
Yep.
So we got the sticky traps, and once the mouse was dead, we had an alley outside the back of our apartment, and she parked her car out there, and we would throw the sticky trap out, and they'd float down like they had, the mouse trap kind of formed a little parachute, and it would kind of glide down and land next to her car. And I guess she didn't take it out for a while one day, and she must have had a nice little pile of mice around her car.
Mm-hmm.
We were pretty evil back then, I think.
Yeah. One of those mice had a nice trip before he died.
Yeah. You wanna tell that one?
One of our roommates put half an ecstasy pill in a piece of food and put it on the trap.
And got away with the food, and the trap never snapped, so... Yeah. That mouse was tripping balls.
Mr. Mouse's wild ride.
Yeah, exactly.
He was humping the side. He was humping the wall, that's for sure.
There's mouse jizz everywhere.
I heard quiet little techno coming out of the hole.
Bunch of little empty water bottles.
I found a tiny little pacifier.
Mini glow sticks.
Yeah. What else did we do to the mice? I know we put a few on her doorstep. Also in the glue traps. Not a fan of the glue traps. Now I see why the Humane Society is after them. Because mice are stupid, and they try and bite off limbs to get off.
Yeah, and then the next part of their body gets stuck.
Well, I'll just bite that off. I guess that's what happens when your brain's the size of a pea. Oh, I remembered what your Facebook thing said, Bri.
Oh, what did it say?
Something like a black cloud of karma follows me to intervene all the time. Or...
Oh, yeah, even on my birthday, the black cloud of bad karma follows me.
That is such a typical Bri post.
Yeah, and then the next day I posted something about a quote-unquote tragedy that happened up here, and then I deleted my profile. So one person I know was like, oh, did did somebody report you for that comment? But that wasn't the case.
What? Was there a murder or something? You made a joke about
Yeah,
it?
there was a... They're acting like this is the 9/11 of Connecticut. This guy...
Everyone wants to get in on our tragedy.
This guy, he worked at a beer distribution factory, plant, whatever. And I'll give you the short story. He shot 8 people and then shot himself.
That's almost like, 3 buildings and 3,000 people.
Yeah. So this happened in this place called Manchester, which is like 3 towns from Hartford. So, the creative news people called it the Manchester Massacre to get the nice, alliteration going. But massacre. It was 8 people that died, and like 2 days later, there was a car crash where 5 people died. I mean, one more car, we would have the same amount of people.
Right.
So well, what happened was it was a black guy, and he shot a bunch of white people, and he claims that he claims that the people that worked there were racist and made a lot of racist jokes towards him and drew like nooses on his locker and stuff. And they ended up firing him because they got him on video stealing beer and selling it to people. So
I am biting my tongue. But
so they sit him down in this meeting and they're like, "Listen, here's the videotape of you selling beer. You can either resign or we're going to fire you." And he goes, "Can I go get a drink of water? I'll be right back." He goes into the kitchen, goes into his lunchbox, comes back with 2 guns, shoots the 2 guys, and then starts walking through. And doesn't randomly shoot people. He starts shooting the people that were making racist remarks to him or whatever. So anyway, 9 people died, including the guy that shot. So I put on Facebook, attention unemployed people of Connecticut. I think Hartford Distributors is going to be looking for 9 new employees.
Oh, I saw that, but I had no idea what that was referring to.
I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You know.
So he just has like a lunchbox full of guns just in case.
Apparently, I don't know. Yeah.
One of these days I may get fired, so I should just,
Yeah.
pack
So then
AK-47.
everybody, so then the outrage was like, when things like this happen, everybody's like, "Oh my God, why would he do such a thing? I can't believe it. What would possess a man to do such a thing?" So then they released the 911 tape where he called the cops and he told the cops exactly what he did and why he did it. He's like, "Yeah, I shot all these people because they're racist. I wish I could have got the other ones, but they weren't here today. Blah blah blah." So then the next day, everybody's like, "How dare they give him his 15 minutes by putting his telephone call on the news and blah blah blah, making him into a martyr?" They're like, assholes. You wanted to know why he did it. He just told you why he did it.
Yeah, it's not like he, had like a LeBron TV special.
Yeah, I know.
So
and they're praising all the cops in town. They're like, "Oh, the cops, they prevented it from being so much worse." They showed up outside and the guy shot himself. What exactly did they do to
right? He
make
was
the
finished.
situation any safer?
Good job catching him a half hour after he's finished.
He looked out the window and said, "Oh shit, the cops are here!" Bang, and then the cops came in and found him.
I never understood that. If you're gonna get shot, like, why not just have a shootout? Wouldn't that be a little more exciting anyway?
Well,
I'm not condoning murdering people.
On the 911 call, he sounded like he was telling the guy, he's like, "Yeah, you're gonna have to tell the cops to come in and get me. They're gonna have to shoot me out or something like that, or drag me out." But then he wimped out and shot himself.
What a pussy!
No.
And we got a confirmation on our maggot.
We do.
Oh, good.
Joel just sent a link, and he is correct. Maggots are the larval phase of diphtheria.
All right, we're dorking out about bugs and maggots.
Yeah. Well, people got to learn something somewhere.
That's right.
All the news
Science
is,
corner.
about sluts who get reality shows. You got to learn
Science.
something somewhere.
You're never too old to learn.
Yeah, learn something, you dummies. Did you guys, Bryce, the whole mosque thing made its way to Connecticut?
Oh, yeah, it's all over the place. I wanted to actually... I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
I know you guys are probably the wrong people to ask because you live in New York, but does anybody else really even care about 9/11? Except for people in New York?
No, I would argue that people in New York care less than people in Middle America.
Like, I can't imagine... Like, in Connecticut, they sort of make it like a big deal because, like, 2 people died from... they were from Connecticut or something like that, but... Like, do you think anybody in, like, Seattle, Washington even gives a shit? They're like, what? The Twin Towers? Those weren't even real, were they?
David Cross had the best joke where he's like, yeah, this guy in North Dakota was like, it could happen here. And he's like, no, it can't.
Who said that?
David Cross.
Oh, David Cross, yeah.
Or was that Greg Rogel?
I think it was David Cross.
I like.
Oh, no, it was Greg Rogel. You're right.
I like what Dave Cross was talking about the New York casino in Las Vegas. He's like, do you think the people who worked in the fake World Trade Center over there freaked out?
If I showed up to work that day, that would have been almost me, not me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the controversy. Yeah, it is up here, and I keep seeing on the news they keep showing it. It's like 3 blocks away. It's not like it's on top of the building that they actually haven't put up yet in 9 years.
It's not at ground zero, which, yes, you're correct. They haven't put up shit in 9 years, so like anything would be an improvement. But that aside, it's not even.
Jamba Juice would be welcome at this point.
Yeah, Jamba Juice and a Starbucks, done. I mean, you can put that up overnight, and it's not at ground zero, and it's not a mosque. It's a cultural center.
Yeah, I love it. They're like, oh, ground zero. Then they show like the little Google map thing. That's like 3 blocks down and 2 blocks over. Like, what the fuck? That's not even close.
And as to the thought that that the whole reason people want this mosque there, that it might be indicative of, somehow almost sticking a flag in the area, like, haha, look what we did, or some kind of end zone dance celebration.
Yeah, but you know what?
That I say, well, it's not very likely that anyone would bomb their own mosque. So why don't, as a ounce of prevention, build a row of mosques. I mean, going up like jagged teeth around
Exactly.
everything of any relative importance in the country. Put one around the Pentagon, put one around the Statue of Liberty. It'll give them all a kind of cool look, and photographers like me can dork out on all the shadows getting cast. Love it.
Exactly. I was debating that with somebody I know, and I said, listen, put the thing on top of put one in each on the top floor of each building they're putting there, because they're not going to bomb their own people.
That's actually an awesome idea.
You know.
Yeah, make it one.
If you put one in the area, if you go by it one day and there's no one in there, get the hell out of town because something might be happening.
Yeah, come down with the flu.
You know.
Yeah, make it one story taller than it was, and make that top floor a mosque.
Yeah.
I'm for that. I know we can't have any other religion within 700 miles of where it happens. I just don't get why it's still a pile of dirt there. It's been 9 years, people. They built the Empire State Building in 2 years in, 1920?
Yeah, a long time ago.
I think it was in the 20s, and it was they built it in about 2 years. So I don't know what the holdup is, folks. It's everyone like fighting over what it should be.
Yeah.
Shouldn't they just rebuild it?
Yeah. Run out of office space here.
Seriously. I don't know. I don't know what the problem is. 1931.
Because you got all those whiny family members that are like, "Oh, this is a grave site," and
Is that where they were buried? Well, I guess some of them were.
Is that where the dust of your family members are now?
Well, when you figure people have been roaming the planet, I mean, the whole thing is full of people eroding, right? I mean, what corner of the globe haven't we lived on and buried people?
That's true. Nobody seems to give a shit about the American Indians. They were probably buried there first.
You know what I don't get? This is going to
Not to mention, we put Andrew Jackson on the American 20. You know, that's not entirely unlike putting Hitler on the Deutschmark. I kind of can't believe people haven't freaked out about that. I mean, that guy's whole campaign was like, let's wipe these fuckers out, right?
Well, how about
smallpox, guns, and this and that, and had a in some people's estimation, impressive head count, literally to his own name.
What about the other President Monroe? He
don't know too much. Educate me on him.
He bought a country in Africa and named it Monrovia, and he was trying to get all the black people shipped back to Africa to Monrovia.
You didn't try hard enough.
Hardcore segregation.
True story. This was one of our presidents.
He was a founding father, Monroe.
Yep.
He was a founding father.
I don't think I made it to that part of people's history of the U.S. I think my liberal guilt got me to stop in my tracks long before then.
Christopher Columbus alone is a pretty bad story.
Oh, absolutely. That part I did read. Like, basically shows up and says, yeah, it's a nice little trinket of gold you got hanging on your neck. Psst. Hey, how about next time I see you, you give me 1.5 ounces of it, and if not, I'm going to take this machete and whack your fucking hand off.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice guy.
And then next time he sees him, he gets the gold and he cuts his head off anyway.
Right. And some other account from some guy that kept a journal in that party, describing the behavior. Just some guy came walking down the path with a parrot on his shoulder, and they just randomly went up and hacked the guy's arms off for no reason. Brutal, nasty, brutish, and short.
Happy show today, folks.
There was no TMZ back then, so you get away with that kind of stuff.
That show is like
no camera phones.
It's just a group of people with absolutely no life. Analyzing this stupid. I was
huge step up from us, obviously.
Yeah, we don't have cameras.
It was on. It was on while I was eating dinner today, and one of their stories was the guy from The Mentalist was walking down the street with no shoes on. That was the whole story. He was barefoot. Cutting edge reporting. I guess when you gotta
Well, I mean that's why the world is going to hell the way it is. I mean, because more people are interested in that than all the elections that are coming up or the wars that we're quote unquote not fighting anymore, but we really are, and all that stuff.
We like a good distraction, don't we?
Yeah, it's screw the whole Gulf of Mexico, which is just Fox.
Why do you, I mean, more people vote in 1 week of American Idol than do in a presidential election. I mean, that's a problem.
It's true too. That's such a bad stat. And has anybody from? I was having this debate at work. What's the point of American Idol? Because none of them do anything afterwards. There's been 8 seasons of the show, and 2 of them actually came out with like a semi-popular album, and one of them was from the first season. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but hasn't there only been like 2...
Well, that one chick is famous, right? Wasn't she on American Idol? The
Kelly Clarkson.
Right. There's like her, like a girl who makes like Southern music. I forgot her name.
Is that Taylor Swift?
Yeah, is that Taylor Swift?
Totally guessing.
No, I think that's just. I think she got popular.
Carrie Underwood or somebody.
Carrie Underwood, yes, Carrie Underwood, and there's like maybe one more out of like 8 seasons of the show, and all the rest make like one album. Like all the 14-year-olds buy it the first week, and then it drops to the bottom of the charts, and you never hear from them again. Am I wrong on this, or
if only Nickelback would have won American Idol?
Well, they would, they.
Well, I stay up on Clay Aiken.
They're yeah, who doesn't? But he didn't win. He finished in second place, right?
Right.
Oh no, he might actually have won. I don't know. I don't know.
I wish I could have answered quickly to perpetuate that illusion.
They don't have Nickelback on because they would just win every year.
Yeah, I know, but if they won and then they followed the typical American Idol.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, one album and
one
done.
album go away.
That's true.
Life would be a lot better.
That would be much, much, much better.
So who's running that show right now anyway? Who are their 3 front people?
I don't think they've officially announced, but rumor has it it's going to be Steven Tyler from Aerosmith.
I mean, that guy's a train wreck.
Well, that's keeping in. So he's the new Paula.
Yeah, I think he's the new Paula. Couldn't they get somebody who's like, I don't know, like I feel like they're getting people who are too nice. I mean, Simon was mean, but I feel like it was kind of forced sometimes.
Yeah, it's like the first maybe season or 2 was genuine, and then it was just like, all right, play up for the camera,
Like when he ripped into Stewie, that was awful.
Yeah, but like now he's just like he's totally checked out. He's just like, that was not appealing to my ears, and everyone's like, oh my god, I can't believe he said that.
Yeah,
it's like actually
they need to get some like drunken homeless people to do it.
That would be hilarious. They just throw like a piss bottle at them.
Yeah,
piss bomb.
Now that would be entertainment.
Like I wish Hank the Angry Drunk Dwarf was still alive. He'd be perfect for that.
Well, Jeff Ross, comedian who does a lot of celebrity roasts, he's actually he's trying to start a campaign to become one of the American Idol judges.
Wasn't he on Last Comic Standing? Wasn't he on that? Or?
Quite possibly. And in a Darwinian world, he would be the last one standing. Everyone else would be bent over in the fetal crouch crying as he tore them a new psychological asshole before their very eyes.
He was on that show?
Wasn't he a host? Like a judge?
Greg Giraldo was.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
He's another one that would be fun to have as a host.
He's funny.
You need somebody who's funny and doesn't pull their punches. Like, just, I don't know. I feel like just being, angry and bored is like, well, you did that for 8 seasons. I think you got to step it up now.
You need somebody that's not tied into the system.
You need George Lopez.
Yeah, do you? Does anybody need him?
Put it on the tee there for you, Jay.
To do what? To do what? Mop my floor? I mean, what do we need George Lopez for?
I think you're thinking of Carlos Mencia.
Who, me?
No, Joel.
Well, either of them come out my floor. I mean, whatever.
I just realized I always thought they were the same person.
No, they're both useless Hispanic comedians.
Not all unfunny Spanish comedians are the same person.
Yeah, you just think they are.
Carlos
just like unfunny women aren't all the same.
Carlos Mencia, if he was a host, he'd be silent. He'd just be furiously taking notes on everyone's jokes.
Why, with Joe Rogan in the front row tearing him a new one.
Yeah. If anybody hasn't seen that, there's a YouTube clip of Carlos Mencia on stage and Joe Rogan yelling.
Joe Rogan would do a good job as American Idol.
Yeah, he would. I can't believe that guy's had such a career.
I know.
He was like that guy who said 2 words an episode on news radio, and then like now he's got like 20 jobs.
Maybe they could like lift up, what was his name, William Hung.
I love William Hung.
People liked seeing him. Just put him on as one of the regular 3.
His album has sold more copies than most people on American Idol. A lot of people bought it as a joke, but it's like you just gave him a lot of money.
Joke's on us.
Yeah, joke's on you. You spent money and he's rich.
He's drinking a slushy drink in the Bahamas.
Exactly. Something just changed with the audio.
My water heater turned on.
Oh, I thought you started up your Harley.
That's my wind tunnel.
Awesome.
The bangs are blown back across my face.
Let's see. Did I have anything else? Teenage girl who's 6'9" and she's 14.
You like Chinese food?
That's a huge bitch.
She's the one causing the big traffic pileup.
Yeah.
Holy shit, look how tall she is.
I'm just going to watch her do normal stuff and struggle in everyday life.
Her legs go all the way down to the ground. This is in California. That was kind of trippy. I got to ride on a tugboat.
Oh, yeah?
Apparently, like these big, huge boats, they come in, and once they get in close, they head to a dock. And since they don't have like the precision of a helicopter, they need these tugboats to kind of inch them into the slot and eventually to spin them so that they can go 180 degrees in the opposite direction and back to Asia or wherever they picked up a new segment of the newly built or in the process of getting built Bay Bridge that they have happening right now. So, someone I know who, over the course of years, has worked his way up from a deckhand to his current gig as a captain on said boat. There, my water heater just turned off, thank God. Invited me out on the bay, and we went out and helped this humongous Asian cargo vessel flip a bitch.
Nice.
Yeah, so I was just snapping photos and enjoying the ride and enjoying the view and like all these just huge rusty ships and going by and referencing parts of the world from here, there, and everywhere where they're coming and going from. And meanwhile, these humongous dock loading things, these big cranes that allegedly were the inspiration, I guess you would say, for those big Imperial walkers and The Empire Strikes Back to take us back to Star Wars.
Bringing up Star Wars because I can't remember what the fuck I was going to rant about.
I was putting it on the tee for you just in case you had it ready. All that effort. It was like 10 minutes of tea sitting there. Fucking yanks the tablecloth and there goes the whole tea.
You had like a month to come up with one rant, Bri.
I actually saw a really cool Star Wars thing last month at the Mohegan Sun. It was called Star Wars in Concert.
And Costner and Star Wars.
And they had a live orchestra in this huge like movie screen. And the fag that played C-3PO was the host, and he came out and he talked about all the movies, like different themes of the movies. Then they showed clips of the movies all tied together while the orchestra played the music. It was really cool.
Wow.
I thought you were going to say Mark Hamill was there. That guy just shows up to every single Star Wars event.
Harrison Ford is the only one that didn't turn out gay from those movies.
Seriously.
How about Chewbacca?
I don't know.
Who knows?
He settled into the bear community of Northern California.
He's a furry.
He's a furry. Plushy.
Well, I think that's about it for today's show.
The cover is bare. Right on.
Yeah, I think we've run out of stuff.
I'll remember my rant as soon as we stop.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
Fuck.
I don't want to continue here going for the next 10 minutes. So, what do you say we ended on a on a decent note.
All right.
Thank
We
you for
beefed this one up over the hour mark, didn't we?
Yeah. I mean, probably only have like 2 or 3 minutes to cut out, so broke the hour mark. Good stuff.
About every 7 months or so, I can come up with my share of about a 60 to 70 minute show. Good to know.
Well, then I will see you in 2011.
Excellent. I'll have my notebook. I'll be taking copious notes until then.
All right. Well, thanks for joining me, guys.
Good seeing you, Brad.
No problem.
Hearing you.
Seems to do.
And thanks for listening, everyone. And please leave some iTunes reviews because those are helping more than I can even put into words. And that's
I do believe I did.
That's not just the rum talking. All right. Thank you, everyone. We'll be back next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Good night.